Yo, what up, my beautiful dowdies? How is everyone doing today? I'm your host, Fao, and let's talk about Arlan. Arlan. This poor guy has a very rough history in Honkai Star Rail. Even though that his design from his kit, or even his design, how he looks, it's actually pretty interesting to me and pretty cool. He always is one step behind of the rest of the roster. In many tier lists, he's always like at the lowest, and a lot of people just hate this character or find him way too clunky to use. So what happened with Arlan? Why is Arlan so mistreated, and why is he in the position that he is today? Let's get straight into it. What happened with Arlan in Honkai Star Rail? For the people that don't know, Arlan was actually incredibly strong in the beta servers of Honkai Star Rail. Before Honkai Star Rail got officially released, Arlan was actually a force to be reckoned with. Arlan was dominating a lot of content, and I do think that the Hoyoverse team realized like, ooh, this guy is actually very strong, and if players are picking up this character, they can probably beat a lot of content very good and very efficiently. That's when they nerfed him. Just before release, Arlan actually got a significant nerf that made him what he is today. And nothing really changed after that. Arlan, from destroying and clearing all the betas and the test servers, he actually transformed into the most forgotten unit that we have maybe in the game right now. And I think that is very sad to see. Even though that he's a 4-star, I don't believe that he deserves this treatment. And I still to this day don't think that he should be in the position that he is. However, I do think that the Honkai Star Rail that was when he released, so how the format was, how the game was played, what the end game was, all of those things got drastically changed. Honkai Star Rail is actively evolving, and we're like moving towards a newer Honkai Star Rail. We got like the first beginning of Honkai Star Rail, then we really started to move from like the Dill and Jingliu compositions that just push through all the content, and it didn't matter what element the enemy had. Those two characters could have just powered through everything. And we finally moved away from that, which was positive, because now we can actually implement the team strategy building game that Honkai Star was supposed to be. A bunch of other characters got added to the mix, and we see a lot of more strategies and a lot more play and a lot of cool new things that people discover. And now again, we're moving towards that newer direction. The Rise of the Break meta was there, which is continuing the evolvement of Star Rail, and we're just seeing more play, more options, and more usage of the characters that maybe were forgotten or that were not that popular. And I still think that Arlan maybe will get a time to shine with characters like Jade, characters that are going to be very good to sustain, like Aventurine with the shielding and stuff. I think Arlan will see more usage if you do really like this character, because we all have our tastes, Maybe you hate Arlan and maybe someone else might love Arlan. And it is important in this game to me is that you play the characters that you really love and that you play the characters that you care about. Because in the end of the day, video games are meant for fun. I always say this on this channel. If you don't have fun, then what are you doing, right? You're just wasting your time then. If you have fun playing a video game, then you're just have enjoyment, and you are trying to make the best out of maybe what your situation is or your life. You're trying to maybe not think of work or whatever it is. And if you're just stressing about things, or you're not having fun with like the free time that you have, then you're just really ruining a very positive thing of your life, And imagine, that's all a very, very big life advice, But imagine like just how his kit works or something. You absolutely love this character. And I still believe that Honkai Star Rail, it doesn't matter if you like Argenti. It doesn't matter if you love the physical Trailblazer, Any character that you put your heart and soul into, this character will work. Like this character will pop off. If you put the right supports with it, you can clear the content with this specific character. And I still think Arlan is in that boat as well. There is probably a lot of like crazy Arlans out there with even better substats than my best DPS has. There's probably a lot of crazy people that put so much investment with 250 crit damage, 80% crit rate, whatever it is, like you can do a lot of cool things with this character still. So that's nice to see. And I do think that his kit has potential. If we actually look at what his kit does, then maybe we can understand it a little bit better. Of course, his basic attack deals lightning damage equal to 50% of Arlan's attack to a single enemy. This is like most of the basic attacks in the games. Very straightforward, very simple. Then we have the scale. Consumes Arlan's HP equal to 15% of his max HP to deal lightning damage equal to 120% of Arlan's attack to a single enemy. If Arlan does not have sufficient HP, his HP will be reduced to 1 after using his skill. And this is really what it is about, you know? This is the ability that was giga broken in the early stages of the game, you know, in the betas, and got nerfed really hard after the release of the game. You know, this was the clunky ability that really separated him from being great and bad. This is like the hard thing to manage of Arlan. If you do not have enough HP or you're just at that awkward position, he just get one shot and you just cannot play the game, you know? However, this is a very interesting ability. It can be very fun, you know? Kind of like a mini blade. Then we have his talent. Increase Arlan's damage for every percentage of HP below his max HP, up to 30% more damage, you know? And this is the combination you want to do with your skill, you know? The lower you are, the more damage you do. You want to have that threshold. So you have to really manage a team that can have him technically like at that 35% HP, you know, or 30%. And that is just very hard to play in this game, or very hard to create a efficient way, you know? Then the ultimate deals lightning damage equal to 192% of Arlan's attack to a single enemy, and lightning damage equal to 90% of Arlan's attack to enemies adjacent to it. So all these percentages are going to be like way more if you level Arlan, but his kit on his own is actually very interesting. And I actually am also kind of intrigued with his playstyle. It's kind of like that bruiser playstyle, or like in other games, you know, where you are like the front line and or you are that fighter that can take damage and then deal a lot of damage back. And it is actually very fun. And Yun Li is kind of like the same boat. She's just like a limited 5-star version of this. And Blade also has that, you know, where he has that HP juggle, where he constantly has low HP, deal more damage, and he heals himself, blah, blah, blah. But the current HP percentage is 30% or lower when defeating an enemy, immediately restored HP equal to 20% of max HP. So he has it here, but it's of course not that great for the Arlan players out here. If you are having a very good Arlan, or you watch this video and you have a cracked Arlan, I really would love to know how you guys deal with this threshold of trying to keep him at a certain HP. I would love to hear, and if it's actually possible, and how you guys do it, you know? Very interesting stuff. Then we have the other one. The chances to resist dot debuffs increased by 50%. This is actually kind of huge, you know, because dots go through shields in a way, you know? So this is actually very good, but also very bad, because 50%, and we all know how big a 50-50 is. Am I right or am I wrong? Like, a 50-50 is very crucial. If you want to get character, if you want to get a character in this game, 50-50 can seem like 100% or 0%. So this is a little bit of like a double-edged sword. This can be like great or like the most useless trace in the world, you know? So that is a bit rough, and I just wish this was like a higher percentage. And this is probably also something that they maybe nerfed or that they adjusted in the final release of the game. Then the last one, upon entering battle, if Arlan's HP is less than or equal to 50%, he can nullify all damage received except for DOTs until he's attacked. Again, you know, that DOT. So, you know, we can really see that he has like those clunky things to his kit. And that's why it's so hard to use, you know. And of course, he doesn't have other things that really help him out. You know, he doesn't have that crit rate or that crit damage. It's just a lot of bland stuff. So on top of that, you really need like insane relics. So you want a lot of HP relics technically, or at HP substats, and then you want a lot of crit damage and crit rate. Now, with a lot of other things in the game, I do think that Arlan has a lot of open doors. Break Arlan is probably very interesting to build. Dual DPS Arlan could be very interesting. Arlan Jade can be very fun. Super Break Arlan now, you know, but again with the break, but like you have like specific ways of playing, and there are going to be more characters out that will really maybe give him a time to shine. If Blade, if Yun Li, if Clara really gets something cool with Jade, why would Arlan not get it, you know? Jade takes HP, gives him speed, and can be actually a very good supportive unit. And we see what March 7th can do with her new form, you know? Like, it is a very interesting concept to see Arlan actually back to her spot where he actually is respectable, or where he could actually deal a lot of damage. And there's more characters that kind of got forgotten in this game, or were just in an awkward position, you know. Yang Qing, always, you know, since the start of the game, immediately people felt like how underwhelming he could be, or clunky to use. Yukong was in that same boat of just when she got released, it was just like, yeah, cool, strong character, but how do I get this to work? And all these characters have that same feeling. Arlan as well. How do I get this character to work? And I think that's why people really don't care about Arlan, and that's really what went wrong with Arlan. Arlan is too much effort. It is what it is. People like Comfortness, look at Firefly, look at Ranmei. You know, all these characters are straightforward, easy to build, easy to get off, easy to get online. And Arlan is way too much work, way too much investment, way too much thinking. when you are actually playing in battle, way too much strategy. And a lot of people, I think, don't want to deal with this just to maybe clear specific content because they like this character, you know? And I think that is really Arlan's downfall. And that's why Arlan is in the position that he is. He's probably one of the more hardest character, if not the hardest character to pull off in this game. I still think that Yukong is even easier to pull off. I think Yang Qing is easier to pull off. And I think Arlan is just in a very nice spot that even the physical Trailblazer is easier to use than Arlan. Because even though that physical Trailblazer is also kind of in that forgotten place, you know, the physical Trailblazer is still straightforward. You know, you just try to get as much damage, you enhance his own basic attack, you try to get good supports with it, and you do a lot of damage. Arlan is really in a position where everything around your team, the relics, need to be spot on for him to work. And it's just too much. And it's not worth it. And you have an Acheron, you have a Firefly, you know. And it's just, why would you do this, you know? And that is, I think, why Arlan is why he is today. And I do hope that with the evolvement of Honkai Star Rail, we'll do see like more open doors, that it will be easier, you know? We have seen it with other characters that they did get brought up to the light. Himiko is one of those characters. Himiko was also awkward, was a little bit unsure, the community could not work, didn't know how she was functioning, and we finally really understood what she can do and what her strengths and weaknesses are. Pure Fiction got added. You know, there's a lot of things that actually Himiko got very good at, and probably the better standard 5-star character that we have in the roster from all the standard 5-star characters. So there is always hope for all of these characters. Also, like Argenti, you know, the moment we get like that battery limited 5-star, Argenti's value will skyrocket, you know, like. And that's also with Arlan. If we really get like a supportive unit or sustainer with like actual HP synergistic things that gives HP, that scales with HP, that gives more damage or something, whatever it is, that transfers HP into damage. You could, whatever you want to do, you know? I think Arlan will then be one of the better characters, or all of a sudden like very valuable. And I think time will tell, you know, we have to be patient. There's still hope for Arlan, there's still hope for all the other characters, but they're gonna take more investment, they're gonna make more time, and we just have to be patient. And I do think that this is what really went wrong with him, you know? And it's sad to see because of a nerf that he got in this position, but it doesn't mean that he will never be great again. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about Arlan, what the hope is of Arlan, you know, if it's going to be new relic sets, new light cones, you know, there's a lot of things that could really help him out. Of course, new characters, what we talked about. There's so many things, and there's a lot of cool stuff out there that you can make him work. Because if you do really like team building and you like a challenge, then characters like these are even more fun maybe than other characters, because they really take you to consider and to think about certain things. And I think that is really fun. And that can be very fun for a specific player that likes a challenge, you know? So that's always nice to have in a game. And if you want to play the game on hard mode, you know, he can be one of those characters. And hey, if you like that, then you do you, you know? Again, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Let me know if you have an Arlan and he pops off, or, you know, how you use him. I would love to hear that. I find Arlan a very interesting character. Make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. It means the world to me if you can do that. Make sure to join the Discord. We're trying to grow the community even further. And if you want to split the channel even further, then become a member. I love you all, and I'll see you around in the next video. Take care. Peace.